Actually doesn't look too bad. Maybe this is kind of a little conflicting with lighting, but this is not too bad. But how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another awesome video. It's been a hot minute since I've streamed. Give me a second to adjust the lighting again. Actually, hold on. There it is. Although I want this a little back further, which is stinky. But you know what? This works fine. This is perfect. We're back at another stream. I'm going to try and make this kind of like jump right to the gun, to the point, everything, all that good stuff. I'm finally doing my second gold stream. It's been a little minute since we've streamed, even though it hasn't felt like that because it's been, I think, I want to say 2 weeks, but for whatever reason, it feels like it's been longer. So it's been kind of a little and there's just been things going on that have been very conflicting with my opportunities to stream. And now I have a quick moment to stream, and I apologize, it's a little way early, way early, because I know 7's really early for some people, but I don't care. I literally I got my mom doing something, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this opportunity right now because it's either I do this or I do something else. And originally I was going to originally at first record a video right now about that. Hey, I may or may not be able to do streams for quite a while. And this actually is a good opportunity for me to do my goal stream and also kind of like do like a small little talk about like, hey, there will be maybe less streams going forward, but not for the reason you think. But anyways, let's kind of get into what we're here for, why we're here for, what is this all about, what's the point, what's going on here, Andrew. And so we have 2 goal streams that I wanted to achieve. But first, what I wanted to achieve first was to reach 330 subscribers, or 330 plus subscribers. And when we reached that goal, I was like, you know what? I got these 2 streams in mind that we'll do just for fun and just for whatever sake. One was the TMNT Shredder's Revenge, which we did that. That was awesome. We might bring that back for just occasional fun, like select streams, And then this here was the one I was very much vague about. I really didn't know how to describe it. And I don't think this will be a reoccurring thing. This is just something random, something sporadic that just popped in my brain that made me think, what if I tried this just for fun, just for laughs, giggles, for fuck's sake, or maybe just for people's entertainment to be like, you know what, this is not bad, like an easy listening type of podcast thing, if you will, just to hear and kind of be like, okay, and that's pretty much it. And so what we're doing different today is we're going to be reading. We're doing a little reading, ladies and gentlemen. And so we have here, I've had this for months now, but we have here the Look Out for the Little Guy in full glory. And so before we actually read this, 2 things. One, I've already started this book. 2, no, actually, yeah. 1, I've already started this book, but I'm going to go back, reread the first chapter, I'm going to at least read 1 chapter, and then maybe we'll read a second chapter, and then that might be it, depending on how long I want to either take in terms of reading the chapters, or maybe I'll, you know what? I think what I'll do is I'll do just 2 chapters, and depending on how long I still have, we'll do maybe 3. But we'll see what happens, and depending on how many of you guys are like actually tune in today. So I know you're here, Tom. So it's good to see you again. Saw you literally a few minutes ago, but hey, again. But this is what we're gonna do as our second goal stream, a little fun read. And then this is why I was very vague with it. Was I didn't know how to describe this. Was if this would be funny, if this would be cool, if this would be entertaining, if this would be easy listening or laid back. So now I'm kind of in full swing, going, okay, this is literally what it is now. So that's number 1. I've already started this, but we're going to go back and reread it a little. And number 2, which I already forgot where I was going with this, but I don't see this being a continuing thing. I don't think this will be a continuing thing of us reading this book as a stream series or whatever, video select stuff. I don't know. This was just something I thought would be kind of funny. And I think this was my number 2 or reason number 3, or at least context number 3, is that I had this for months. And so I was tempted to read this and do this as a gag. And, I'm going to commit to the bit. And not only that, but for any of you that don't know, in this is so random, but in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Scott Lang's got his own book, and it's called Look Out for the Little Guy. And something in the back of my head that I should have said in my review was I would love to have a physical copy of it. And then flash forward to, say, August, maybe September of 2023. All of a sudden, I see that I think Paul Rudd posted that you can now pick this up at your local bookstore, on Amazon, and all these places. And I kind of love it. So it's an in-universe book. And so before we read this, let's read the back of this, because I think that's the best part about it. I think it's hysterical because it is just read this. Let's just read this together. Let's just read this. In an ant's eye view of what it's like to be an Avenger, including the official insider's account of the Avengers' battle with Thanos, introduces the man behind the hero, and I call a friend, quoted by Dr. Bruce Banner. When the other Avengers wondered who should write a book about us, I knew Scott Lang was the guy. He's been full of surprises since the day we've met, and this book is no exception. Everyone should read this. Sam Wilson, Captain America. If you always hoped Ant-Man would write a book, you're in luck. I confess I did not, but I enjoy it all the same. From Dr. Stephen Strange. I can't think of a better person to tell the world what it's like to be an Avenger than Scott. This book hits its mark. Quoted by Clint Barton, Hawkeye himself. Funny, intense, and honest. The transparency we have been waiting for our superpowered citizens. Okay, this might be an actual person because it says Kristen Everhart, WHIH Newsfront. Oh, that's kind of funny. That's kind of funny a little bit. This might be a legit person. That might be an in-universe like news reporter or something. But we're gonna start from the beginning, and I'm not gonna show you the book, but I'm gonna read it to you like almost like an ASMR sort of ordeal. Not that this is gonna be titled or claimed as ASMR, but I'm just giving you guys a visual, a description, if you will. So, hold on. To make it even more professional, because I want to look professional for this. All right. Although I do want to kind of fix that just a little bit. That's all. And then for anyone that does tune into the chat, you can just leave whatever you want. I'm not like I'll come in and out looking at if you guys got questions or any suggestions. But I'm gonna be reading this, and then I'll probably stop at chapter 2 and be like, okay, what's been going on? If someone has showed up, if it's just you, Tom, or whoever else. And honestly, I'm not worried about this having tons of views, tons of likes. This is just something I want to do for fun, and just wanted to be like, hey, this would kind of be a little silly thing. Maybe some people might legit be like, hey, this is actually not bad of an idea, even if you don't do this as a continued thing. And I'm like, okay, so. Hi there. Howdy. Hey, man, I hate introductions. If you're reading this book, first of all, thank you. Even though I can make my body as large as the Empire State Building, some days my self-esteem gets, well, ant-sized. Maybe that's an occupational hazard of being an Avenger. Working alongside the mightiest and smartest people on Earth. But the feeling is still there, even when I remember that I did help save half the world. Anyway, my name's Scott Lang. You may now know me as you may now or at one time have known me as Ant-Man. But I've been involved in some superhero stuff. You might have heard about some superhero stuff you probably haven't heard about, and some superhero stuff you might be tired of hearing about, at least if you're anything like my immediate family. But who is Scott Lang? Well, I'm just an average guy, middle-aged white guy who went to a fancy nerd college, got married, and landed a solid white-collar desk job. I used to work as a computer guy at Vistacore, a huge tech firm that deals with security. Oh, the irony of that, but just wait for it. My wife Maggie and I had a baby girl named Cassie. We were heading into an uncomplicated, peaceful suburb life outside of San Francisco. I mean, sure, on our TVs, we were watching the world occasionally coming under attack by strange beings, but we also saw these amazing group of superheroes called the Avengers, who always managed to show up exactly when they were needed and send those baddies back away from our planet and my life. However, there were still some baddies right here on Earth, specifically in my workplace. As I begin to discover over time, my company was not completely on the up and up. Under the misguidance of my boss, the company I was working at, Vistacore, started using its prowess with security to take advantage of customers, specifically someone either overlooked or deliberately created a glitch in the payment process software, skimming millions of dollars from customer accounts. I decided I was not okay with that. After multiple attempts to push back against the company attempts that one might describe as legal or reasonable or adversible, I decided to go in a different direction. I'd like to start with this with the positives. I returned $5 million to our customers and exposed Vistacore's nefarious dealings to the public. And on the other side, I also drove an extremely expensive sports car into extremely expensive pool, and myself into San Quentin Federal Penitentiary for 3 years. Even worse, this was also around the time that my marriage to Maggie broke up. I don't want to get into that specifics, but why? That's strictly Scott Maggie stuff. But let's just say husband suddenly going to the pen for 3 years wasn't exactly a marriage saver. More critically, though, that divorce plus imprisonment effectively separated me from my dear sweet daughter Cassie. For way too many for way too many of her precious first few years, I wondered if she and I would ever have seen the chance to make a connection. I finished my sentences, left San Quinn, and attempted to rejoin the world, even if the world didn't quite seem to know what to do with me yet. I couldn't get a job with a conviction on my record. I had no funds or place to stay. Even my one joyful attempt to reunite with Cassie was cut short by Maggie and her fiance, telling me I had to get my life together before we could talk visitation or shared custody. Fortunately, though, there was one guy who did have a use for me. Unless you've spent a past few years in a cave or say a subatomic realm, you've probably at least heard of Pym Technologies, or at least Hank Pym. If you haven't, Hank Pym was an inventor of Pym particles, an incredible scientific breakthrough. Pym particles have the power to cause molecular reduction or expansion at great scales in either direction. In other words, they can make anything super small or super big. Hank and his wife, Janet Van Dyne, put this to direct use on themselves, performing countless heroic deeds as the original Ant-Man and Wasp. And outside of the superhero game, Hank started a serious R&D operation known as Pym Technologies. Before years ago, Pym Tech fell into the unscrupulous hands of people who wanted to exploit his discoveries for use on the battlefield and to sell the resulting technology to folks who do not want to be in battle with. But then Hank had been pushed out of the company that literally had his last name on the door. But he knew what was being planned with his invention, and that it had to be stopped. So, let's say hired me to recover his creations from Pimtech. Whoa, Scott is probably what you're thinking right now. How did we jump from custody dispersed to biotech espionage? Well, right about that time, I was stumbling out of prison, trying to find myself. Hank Pym, who I didn't know at the time, found me. Hank had done his research on me. I knew I was skilled at both electronics and thievery, and most importantly, he knew that I had nothing left to lose. Unbeknownst to me, he tested me by enticing me to steal the Ant-Man suit from his highly formidable safe. Once I succeeded at that, Hank and his daughter, Hope Van Dyne, kind of stole me from police custody, offered me the gig as if I had a choice, and then trained me to pull off one of the craziest high-tech heists ever. So, return the potentially world-threatening military technology and its rightful creator, and it's back to peace again, right? Wrong. Literally, no sooner had I pulled off the Pimtech operation with an assistant from old prison from some old prison pals and some extremely skilled ants. Then I found myself face to face with the Avengers. Well, two of them. Anyway, Captain America and Falcon. Believe me, those two is more than enough. I've already had a tussle with the Falcon, but now he and Cap, as I would soon be calling him, no big deal actually, wanted my help. Wow. I mean, wow. I wasn't just cranky old semi-retired scientist tracking me down anymore. Now I'm caught in the attention of Earth's mightiest. So what they want for me was a bit messy. Basically, the Avengers had a huge internal divide over something too complicated to get into here. And Cap and Falcon wanted some fresh, highly sized, adaptable muscle on their side, especially when one of the culminated in a huge Avengers vs. Avengers frycast at an airport in Germany. Germany. I just spent 3 years in a tiny cell. Now I was suddenly touring Europe. I don't know what to get into. I don't want to get into details of the conflict, and in fact, I'm under legal obligation not to. But let's just say I might have been on the more badass side of it. In the end, that whole fight got resolved, as I think you know. Otherwise, our planet would be a scorched battlefield of never-ending and intra-Avengers smackdown. So peace on Earth? No. Nope. That's when thanks to Thanos, half of all of life in the universe disappeared. So no peace on Earth or anywhere else. I wasn't around for those 5 years of missing people. You'll find out why soon. But I came back just in time, jumped to a different timeline, fought like every bad guy in the universe on a field in upstate New York, helped the Avengers stop Thanos, and put all the people back where they belonged, including last but not least, putting my precious Hope back together with me. As you might imagine, that was a lot. In the time since, I've been trying to take things a bit easier, nursing wounds, reconnecting with those I've missed, reflecting on what it all means. Oh yes, and of course, writing this book. And if you want to really get to know who Scott Lang is, read this book. Is where I recommend you start. So at this point, I bet you also have a very serious question. One which I'd ask myself over thousands of times a day while writing this is, where is it? Oh, that is it. Hold on. Where's my next chapter, yo? I think there's a little more, but wait, what? Hold on. There it is. Okay, redos and redon'ts, and I think we're kind of getting into the second chapter. I don't know. I think this is the introduction. That's all I know. But we're doing something little fun here, something a little random here, just a random read of things. And I'm doing all right. I'm doing not bad. So I'm taking this brief opportunity to read this. I don't care how far and how long we go with this book. We're just going to do a few chapters, and I don't care if it's like going to be 40 minutes or an hour or even just 20 minutes, but we're going to read this for a bit, and I'm going to keep going. But you guys can leave whatever stuff if you want in the chat. I'll like look in between things, but I just want to at least kind of just give you that little detail. But I want to check for a second here. I thought this would be the first chapter. This was the introduction, which I don't know if it's the first chapter, but I'm trying to find how many more do I have left, because I don't recall this, unless I'm now kind of getting to territory that I actually didn't even read yet, so we'll see. Well, anyways, let's just keep going, and I'll see where it goes, because I'm looking for the next thing. Anyways. Why on earth is Scott Lang the first superhero writing in a book? I mean, just between us, I'm proud to be an Avenger, but sometimes I also feel like a latecomer. Sure, I came through in the ultimate clutch button, but in a baseball terms, I'm not a starter. I'm a DH, designated hero. Here's how I see it. I'm the everyman Avenger. I'm the one you could grab a beer with, the one you feel okay asking to look after your dogs when you're away, or for a drive to the airport. I'm not a super soldier or a billionaire, unless this book is super successful. Just a regular dad, a San Francisco Giants fan, a guy who's made mistakes I'm still trying to rectify. In a word, I'm an ordinary guy who's been thrust more than once in extraordinary circumstances. And I know that still doesn't completely answer the question of why I wrote this book. The simple answer is the Avengers asked me to. One day, Bruce, the Hulk, Banner, Clint, Hawkeye, Barton took me out for lunch. They said they would concerned that the world didn't really know what happened with Thanos and the blip. Still don't like that word. Still don't like that. I don't. I still. I'm gonna interject a little bit here, a little, but I don't like the blip. I don't like that it's called the blip. I still think it should have been the snap. That's just me. But anywho, Thanos and the blip, an hour-long struggle to finally put things right again. At first, I usually do when confronted with heavy topics. I made a joke. I'm pretty sure at least half of the world knows what happened. Bruce responded that yes, of course, billions had experienced these jarring and mind-bending events, but they didn't know the full story behind them. And ultimately, that's what people need the most to get through and get past traumatic events. A narrative that helps it all make sense. Okay, I agree. Solid plan. So who are you going to get to tell the story? Clint answered, "You, Scott. You're the only guy who got scooped up in all of this pretty recently. You still got one foot in the world, and you're a guy everyone likes and trusts." And Bruce sealed the deal with, "It's tough stuff, and no one knows how to keep it light like you." While I still have tons of doubts, I was hardly an eyewitness to almost all that history. I haven't been around for the Battle of Wakanda or any of the other events that led to Thanos gathering the various Infinity Stones, but pretty much immediately I knew what my answer would be. As far as I'm concerned, when the Avengers ask you to do a job, any job, you say yes. So I did. Two quick handshakes. Bruce, now permanently in his Hulk body, made sure to keep his not too firm, and it was settled. They supplied me with all the archival footage and documentation. Take me anywhere I need to go and let me ask as many questions as I needed. The only thing is, it wasn't actually 100% settled for me on the inside. From the confidence peak of having two amazing superheroes place their trust in you, there was a friendly steep plummet into self-doubt. Even with their sensible reasons, the whole affair just stirred up the question that's been burning inside of me most of my adult life. Why me? I've been asking myself that since before I ever met the Avengers, back when I was working at Vistacorp. Why I was the only one who couldn't sleep at night after learning all the money they were stealing from customers. Why did I basically give up my job, give up my marriage, and spend 3 years in San Quentin just so I could play Robin Hood? And finally, this one still smarts when Vistacorp's nasty business became public to the world. Why was I the one who ended up going down for it? I don't know the answers to these questions, and perhaps I never will. Not even Doctor Strange could tell me, and believe me, it's not for my lack of asking. Once the purple dust had settled from the Battle of Earth, I tried bonding with the guy. Let's just say he was either unwilling or uninterested in filling me in about any of the 14 million thousand, wait, hold on, 14 million 100,000 605 possible paths. But here's what I do know. That Vistacore/prison experience taught me that our world is broken and that it's never going to get fixed unless folks like me and the unlikely ones step up to the job. And when Hank Pym plucked me out of the ex-con pool and put me out of the work as Ant-Man 2.0, I started to see the haziest outlines of why for me. Maybe all those hard years I had just endured were actually preparation of a higher purpose, which is a good thing because right after my first outing as a hero, I drafted into I I aforementioned very scary and sort of confusing business with Avengers fighting other Avengers in Germany. I was sent to an underwater super max prison, and once again I had to take the fall and spend 2 years in detention under house arrest. Why me again? Still not no perfect lock under the answer, but I was beginning to glimpse one. This is going to sound beyond weird for a guy whose success and often life depends on quantum mechanics, but basically, I had a feeling. Even if I was yanked from one seemingly unthinkable scenario to another, asked to do things I would have never dreamed possible, I began to see that many incredible things were in fact possible, and I was doing them. And they started to feel more and more, for back a letter word, right. I knew this was the kind of feeling my Avengers pals feel mid-mission for a mid-battle, and maybe they've gotten used to it, but I'm just finally getting there, to the feeling that even when faced with the most terrifying foes imaginable, even with all the odds exponentially stacked against me, even if you are working side by side with others to serve a greater good, you're in the right place, doing the right thing for you. And honestly, it's the real story behind the entire Adventure Saga. It's the one I thought I was most essential to share with all of you. That was the deeper reason I said yes to those two Avengers at lunch at the lounge counter. Because I knew that, once again, I was being called to what seemed impossible, or at least highly and advisable, but instead I let my that feeling take hold and guide me. I realized that I needed to share that feeling with you because at the end of the day, nobody can tell where life is going to yank them, unexpectedly or seemingly beyond their reach. Steve Rogers signed up to fight, imagining he would only go as far as scrawny guy can get in wartime. Tony Stark was brilliant and successful, but I know part of him wondered if he'd ever get out from under his dad's shadow. Even Doctor Strange, and all his professional success, could never have imagined becoming a master of the mystic arts, or even that such a thing existed. And that same unpredictability is just true for you. Wait, just as true for you it is for me. What would you do, like, if life shrunk you down and tossed you into a bathtub being filled with your former prison buddy? Okay, that one just might be me. But how about when life sends you unexpectedly packing from your gig for 3 years straight into a jail cell because you dared to blow the whistle on your company's greed? You don't ask. You don't ask why. You ask, where do I go from there? Where do I go from here? Because that's the job life has for you. At least right at this moment, it's the kind of job you don't get quit. You don't get to quit. How many more pages do I have? Okay, I got two more, so I think we're almost at chapter 2. I don't know. It doesn't even say chapter 2. That's the thing. It doesn't say specifically what chapters we're looking at. And I feel like I want more view over here now that I think about it. Because now I got that glare going on, and then now I've got this being a stinky issue. Yeah, that's actually a little better. Kinda. Ish. Sorta. Anyways. You can run, but you can't hide. Wait, did I skip something? Let me check if I skipped something. No, life you don't get to quit. You can run, but you can't hide. Not even if you can shrink yourself down and help and leap into a bathtub. Now, I know I said before that I don't technically have a superpower, but I looked at it another way. I actually do. And even cooler part is, so do all of you. Having the ability to change my size at will. I've seen that in the world is full of big guys. Hold on. Hold on. Stinky alert. going. Okay. I think we're at least. I don't know if we'll be able to get. We'll do chapter 2, but we will do at least. Well, not chapter 2. I don't think we'll get to the next chapter, or I don't know. I don't know how these are all chaptered. Like it just literally has different titles, so I don't know. Like literally, the first thing says what did it say? Oh, this is cute. I didn't realize this. This was kind of like a little in dedication of to my favorite partners, Hope and Cassie. This one's for you. That's kind of cute. So I guess this is introduction. It's literally just introduction. So I don't know if it's considered really chapter 1. So I think we're going to be at chapter 1. I don't know if we'll get to chapter 2 or 3, but this is the next one. It says just redos and redon'ts. So we might read a little bit of that. Let's see. We're almost at it. Let me see real quick. But I'm glad that some of you have tuned on in so far. I hope that you guys at least enjoy and maybe give this a like a little bit, even if it's not like I don't expect a lot and be like a lot of people tuning in for it. This is just something fun I want to do, and then probably at some point I think you know what. Here's what I'll do. We'll do 2 more. We have 2 more pages till we get to this chapter. We'll close up, and then what I'll do is I will kind of inform you guys about what's kind of happened. Well, not happened, but what's going to perhaps happen, and we'll take it from there. And then that'll be it. I think that'll be it for the stream. So I think this will be good. We'll just stop after this. After what I'm at page. This is 14. So we'll stop at 16, and then that'll be it. And I don't think this will be something that I will continuously do going forward. If people really want to, fine, but I don't think this was ever going to be something that we would keep going with. This was just something funny. I thought it'd be great. We're not going to finish this book and within number 1 the time span that I have, and number 2 within the day I have today, because those two are not going to go hand in hand today. I just figured I thought in my head, let's just at least read a chapter or 2, and then that's it. And we'll just do that. And if you guys really want to, I don't know, we'll really want to, if you guys really want to, let me know in the comments. That's the only way I'll actually do more of this. Other than that, this is going to be me reading this on my own, because I have this I'm reading. I'm going to read and start reading and continue reading. There's other books I need to finish. I'm still slowly reading and finishing the Matthew Perry memoir, and I'm trying to think. I know there's probably some comics that I've started. I think the last one I started. No, hold on, let me think. I just finished the Imperial Command, and then before that, I finished, I think, Justice League: Gods and Monsters, and then there's that and a few other books I've finished that I've been debating about reading, not reading, reviewing. So I might come back to those sometime. We'll see. But let's just keep going for now, because I don't want to waste any time and then all this other stuff. But anyways, so we read all of 14. Where was I at? Why not me? You were in the place of entire reason. At least that's what I've tried to do. Promise the Avengers. Okay, at least that's what I've tried to do. When I promised the Avengers I would tell their story. Wait, hold on. How about let's do it from here. Let's do it from here. You're in this place and time for a reason, and no one else is. And so when the next uncertain, unlikely, impossible step is revealed to you, I urge you with every particle of my body, Pym or otherwise, to turn that why me into why not me. At least that's what I tried to do when I promised the Avengers I would tell their story. And the best way I know how to do that is by telling mine at the same time. Because I've learned whenever I start to talk about something big that happened, I also see little lessons that can be learned from it. And I want to share that to help others and to help myself and others. Maybe it's because I didn't get the chance to be around my daughter Cassie for so many chunks of her life, to share what I've learned with her. I'm still working on that, but it's hard now that she's grown up. She's grown up herself. And right here, this is kind of funny, a little. Nothing too hilarious, but this is funny. All right, you handsome devil, let's read this book you've written. She's grown up herself, who's already seen and experienced so much without me to guide her. I missed the boat on that, but believe me, you are in for an entire book of dad wisdom, just burning for her home. So that's what I plan to do in this book. I'm going to tell it all from how I saw it, experienced it, and heard it in firsthand from my hero buddies. I'm going to bring you into the hero world. Along the way, you'll hear about my story, Scott Lang's story, from where I started to the Ant-Man I've become and I am still becoming because I'm so incredibly fascinating? No, because my life, just like yours, loses half its value if we don't find a way to share its lessons with others. And finally, because if you take nothing else away from my words, what I want to share is that what makes all of us giants is how much we look out for the little guy, how we help out our fellow humans when they need it most, how our greatest superpower can simply be a listening ear, a concerning eye, or an outstretched hand. Nice. How we don the hero's uniform by simply showing up and doing the unbelievable, unlikely job that life has just handed us. And speaking of jobs, I've got an entire rest of the book to write. Oh, why did I agree to this? Why me? So I think that is going to do it. You know what? That's it. We're done with the book. We finished the book in 30 minutes. I'm just kidding. I think that's going to do it for now. I want to kind of go into a little more reading, but I don't know how much time I have left within this right now because this is literally like a nice little, like, this is a bubble for me at the moment. Is I'm just taking this advantage and just doing that. But I don't know how much more, so I'm just gonna, at least I think I'm gonna stop there, and I'm just gonna inform you all about the rest of everything else going on because I don't know how much time until I have the place to myself to do this and take the opportunity to stream. And that's kind of, you know what, that's kind of one of the reasons why I haven't been able to stream, is because I haven't had, and I'm be honest a little bit, is I haven't really had the time or opportunity to basically say, hey, I've got the house to myself. I can kind of quietly do my stuff on my own. And I know that sounds a little weird, but whenever I stream, you guys know and are aware that I'm by myself. And I do that because it makes me feel a little more kind of comfortable. It makes me feel a little more independent. I know that doesn't make any sense, but there's a method to my madness, and some of you might not understand, and that's okay. Not all of you need to understand where I'm coming from, or have to be like, I can totally relate or anything like that. I just feel very much comfortable streaming whenever I have the house to myself. Now in a hypothetical scenario, because I'm just going to paint a different picture for a second, is in a different scenario, in a hypothetical scenario, because I'm just saying, is let's say, for example, when Bella and I live together and I'm still doing my channel, I would feel more comfortable with just the two of us in the house. And if she's in the house with me and I'm streaming, that's fine. Yeah, like, I'm comfortable with that. But for whatever reason, I just feel very more like less comfortable, or I feel more independent when I do this on my own time, not when there's other people and other background noises and other stuff going on. So that's kind of why I haven't been able to stream. There hasn't been a day, even an hour, for me to even say, let me just jump into something. I haven't. So that's kind of been, for lack of a better story, that's been the gist, or for lack of a better word, the gist of everything that's happened. And so what I'll also let you guys in on is that I'm hoping that I can still do more streams going forward for that reason, but also because the other thing is that on Friday, on Friday, I'm going to be having a remote interview for a job, and I'm hopefully going to be starting this job next week. I'm hoping. Technically, like, it feels, the thing is, the job feels like, it's like I have the job because I applied to a remote job and the person called me that same day. I called back and she made it sound like, okay, we sound like we're all set. We can set up a Zoom meeting and all these other things. I'm like, yeah. And then it sounds like everything's all coming full circle for me. Everything's all coming together, if you will. So even though I'm thinking to myself that, yeah, that's what it feels like to me, at the same time, it feels like I still want to wait to find out everything else. Like, I want to wait till Friday to be like, hey, I have the job, and then make the announcement and make it more of a bigger thing. But I feel like part of me has the job, but part of me still doesn't have the job, if that makes sense. But I have my interview Friday, and if I have this job, and if I get this job still, then there's a good possibility there won't be as many streams. So what I'm looking to do is to kind of balance it out to kind of not just for streams. Now, let me clarify this real quick before I say this. I'm going to clarify this, that this isn't just because, hey, I need a day to stream, but I'm going to talk and consult with I guess my future boss, or my perhaps boss, that I'm going to say to her that, hey, is it possible I could have a day or two off? Not just for this, not for this at all. I mean, there's the partial reason. There's a part of me that is like, hey, I could do this on my days off that aren't just weekends, like maybe like a Monday or a Friday. But the other 90% of me is saying, the other 90% of me is saying this, and I'm going to ask that, hey, can I maybe have like a day during the week off? Because technically this is supposed to be full time. This is going to be me doing 9 to 6 full time. So there wouldn't be a morning, there wouldn't be an evening, there wouldn't be an afternoon sort of thing. It'd have to just be granted, this is the plus side, is there would be content. There'd be videos I'd be able to record later, but I wouldn't be able to stream as much. But however, if I can get maybe a Monday off, what I'm looking to do is, this is the 90% of me that's more thinking about my life right now and more about my focus. And that is, if I need at least a day to dedicate a little bit more of my class. Like, yes, I can do classwork after work, but the way I like to think is that I don't think I'll be able to get in as much stuff. I don't think I'll be able to get in as much stuff that I'd like to get in within a couple of hours after work. I feel like at least if I have Monday, I can do as much as I want and then stop. And if I have the house to myself, then be like, you know what, I'm going to stream now, then do my class, or class first, then stream. So that's where my head is with all of that. And that's why I'm kind of like implying this and saying, hey, there might be a sliver to kind of make this fitting with what the stream's all about. There's a subatomic ant-like size chance we can still do stuff. So that's why I'm kind of adding this context and adding a lot of this like back and forth sort of thing a little. So that's what's going to hopefully happen, and I'm fingers crossed hoping that's going to be the case with that. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm forgetting with that being said. No, I think that might be it. I think that's it. Honestly, I feel like I'm forgetting something, and that's why I'm dragging this, so I can remember like what was it I wanted to add. Now I've kind of lost that, so I can't remember. But that's what I'm hoping for, is we can do that going forward, and that's kind of like just a little like, hey, heads up, and if this is why we haven't been able to stream, and this is why we may not be able to stream as much. Also with my classwork, I feel like I can probably accomplish a lot more, at least within a time. Not with like, I feel like I can accomplish stuff on a day where I'm not like, oh, let me do this at, like from this time to this time. Like, I would feel like, I don't know. My point, I think I'm saying, is that I like, if I have a Monday or a Friday off, and then let's say just do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, at least I'd have 4 days. And then maybe I can do a Saturday. I don't know. Maybe I can do a weekend, because technically it's Monday through Friday. Weekends are off. And I could, again, do stuff on the weekends and catch up. But sometimes I feel like I could use a day just to do class stuff during the week. Because what if there's stuff that's due during the week that I can't finish. And I'm like, oh, I didn't get to do this, and I have to buckle down. And yes, I don't have a problem buckling down, but I feel like if I have at least 3 days and plus extra hours in between to do class, and also going forward next month, I'm going to have 2 classes. So I would really need the extra day off to work on that stuff. So that's why I'm kind of mentioning this, because if I can basically say, hey, I can do this, and if I have the opportunity, we will then stream too on those days off. So I want to put that in, but this is mainly just to say where there, unfortunately, there's not going to be many streams as much, and the reason for that is for the same reason. No, and the reason we haven't is for a few other reasons, but hopefully we're gonna try and get that train and that stride going a little bit. So, and I forgot again. Oh, that's the other thing, is that I already said it was the weekends. I feel like I won't be able to do all that in the weekends, and at least I have Monday, Saturday, Sunday. I could do that, or Monday, Friday, Sunday, or Monday, Sunday. I don't know. I feel like I could accomplish a little bit more if I have a day during the week to do things, because there's gonna be a lot of stuff during the week for school for me, and it would suck if I would just have to do everything almost on a weekend, and little here and there. I don't know. I know it's not that deep, but I just feel personally I would feel more focused and more successful if I had at least a day or 2 off for work. So I'm gonna at least see how that goes, and if that's something that's possible, or if I can have paid time off, because this is not a government job, but this is obviously this is a remote job. There's a lot more to things that I'm going to ask. I think I know someone that works in this business, that he said that, yeah, there's gonna be this and that you have, but I'm like, okay, I want to ask her this too, to make sure, because if I can also get paid time off, that'd be awesome, and then vacation time too, and all that great stuff. At least that'd be helpful and beneficial. But I know I've dragged this on about my personal thing, but I figured to take this opportunity to be like, hey, since we did the book, let me at least address this real quick, because I don't know how much time I have left. But let me just take a quick second to see this, and I do want to change up the thumbnail, because I don't like it. I'm not a fan. Just saying, you know. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and also check out a few things. Okay. And you guys, if you guys are tuning in, this would be a good opportunity. If you want to leave something in the chat, feel free. And if you are catching this out later, feel free to leave in the comment section. Feel free what you think about this. Did you like this? Do you hate this? I don't care if you hate it, if you're not a fan of it. This was not going to be like this new thing we're going to do going forward. This was just a fun little idea I had in mind, back of my head. I thought it'd be kind of fun, maybe a little easy listening, easy going. Maybe it wasn't going to be as long as I thought, but hey, at least you're having fun, sort of. So let me find the actual image I want to use. I think it's a pretty stellar image, in my opinion. If I'm to toot my own horn, I think. Oh wait, I know where to be. I think I know where it is. No, where would it be? Where the hell is it? That would be kind of funny, but no. Don't mind me. I'm just thinking at the moment. And hopefully the next time we do streams, whenever that will be, we can now finally do, I think the next one was going to be Lego Marvel, if I remember correctly. It's been a little while since I've taken a look at my list. Unfortunately, I haven't kept track, because, hey, I haven't had a minute to stream, so that kind of sucks for me. So I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a big fan. Not a fan at all of that. Although I know the reasons, I know why, but partially still not a fan, personally, but I think that's the next thing if I remember correctly. I'm not sure. I want to check this real quick, and I think that might be the next stream. Was that the next thing I was gonna do? Let's see, I think that was gonna be next. Was that? Yeah. Okay. Oh no, Spider-Man. That's right. It was gonna be Spider-Man. Okay. Yeah. Spider-Man episode 9. Hopefully I can get to that. That'd be awesome. But that's oh shit. Okay. But I think that should maybe do it. Let me see one last thing, and then I think I don't know if we have time still. Is there enough time we have still? Let me see. I don't know. But I think we're gonna I'm gonna see if anyone else wants to tune in, check this out, and leave anything in the chat. And if no one comes by in the next, let's say, like couple of minutes, then I'm gonna start wrapping up. This actually be an hour. This actually might just wind up being an hour exact, which that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly okay. I thought I would have had a lot more time, but unfortunately time's not on my side for today. So I made this pretty quick, and I apologize this was quick, but hey, for any of you guys that are checking this out on the replay, feel free to leave anything you'd like in the comment section, honestly. That way I can maybe answer questions there, or I can take a look at your suggestions, or take a look at your thoughts, your concerns, your comments, and all that stuff about this, and whatever you think. And even if like I said, if this isn't going to be a big crazy thing that no one really tunes into, that's okay, because I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about this, really. This was just something fun I wanted to do, something just silly, maybe a little random. Maybe this was entertaining. Maybe this was just easily listening to you guys. Maybe this was just a nice little, this is kind of like something I could listen to while I'm at work, or I'm on my way doing this, like a podcast. I don't know. However you guys want to address this. I don't really care for this one. Not that I don't care, but it's more like this was just something entertaining for me. I thought this would have been funny, and if I succeeded at that, awesome. If I didn't, then I at least had fun doing this, or at least kind of enjoyed, at least kind of be like, this is kind of a little relaxing just reading this. And we are not going to read a lot of reading books or a lot of reading sessions like this. If people really want to, you'd have to really, really leave comments about that and literally suggest that. But if not, I'm not taking it, because I just don't see the point. Because I thought this was just a one-time thing, and I don't know, just didn't think this would explode or have any real crazy, like, oh my gosh, let's see more of this, So I don't think that will happen. I am fine if that does not happen, and I don't care if it doesn't happen like that. I'm okay with that. So I'll be doing that, reading this on my own time, and I still have the Matthew Perry memoir that I know I've been reading for like years now, but yeah. I need to get back to reading a little bit. So this kind of maybe gave me an urge to read again, because I haven't picked up a book in a hot second, not counting the Imperium Command, which we did a review on, and you can guys go check that out. I'll leave a link in the description. And then later, you guys can also tune in you guys can go check out a short that will be later today. Probably sometime, I don't know, maybe I could make it around 10 o'clock, actually. I could have it around 10. I was going to have it around like 1 p.m., but maybe around like 10. So I'll give you guys like a couple more minutes, give it guys 2 more minutes, and then we're going to be done for the day, and I'll start wrapping up. So if anyone wants to tune in, feel free to tune in. If not, then that's going to be it, and that's totally it, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, I think this is funny. I'm glad they made this book. This is not a sponsorship whatsoever. I'm wholeheartedly, this is not a sponsorship. I wish this was, but this is not a sponsorship. I guarantee you, this is not. But if someone does want to pay me for this, then great. That'd be awesome. But this is not a sponsorship whatsoever. I guarantee you that for sure. I bought this with my own money. I remember it was September. No, hold on. Let me think. It was either September. Hold on. It was September or October. Yeah, it was September or October. I saw this book, and I finally was like, I should grab this now, because Bella and I were out. We were at like a shopping center, or it's technically a mall, but it was like more like it was like a fancy mall. Let's just call it like a kind of like an outlet. That's it. That's the word. And there was a Books A Million there, or there was a Barnes and Noble, whatever. And there was the book I actually talked about. And I remember even said that, oh, they have it at my Target one time. There, I texted her about it, and I was kind of like, this would be actually really cool to get. This would be funny. I think this would be awesome, and I'm really tempted to buy it, but let me maybe wait a little bit. So then we flash forward to when we actually went out that time, and it was there. And she was I think the only thing that she said was, she's like, I'm surprised you're not getting that book. I was like, I might, I don't know. And then I wound up picking up the book. Not that it's this big story, but I thought it was kind of funny, in my opinion. Hold on. Okay. Yoink. That didn't hurt. I'm just kidding. So yeah, I was like, okay, maybe I should wait. And then I was like, you know what? No, I'll buy it. I gave into my compulsion of wanting this book. And the thing was that I already have books I haven't even finished yet. And then I start a new one. And I was like, maybe this will motivate me. And then maybe since I got the memoir and I got this silly memoir, why don't I motivate myself more with this? And I'm like, and then it's another one that's added to the fire a little of books. It's not that there's done tons of books, but there's this book that I'm now started and I need to read and finish. There's the Chandler's Lovers, Lovers something and the Big Terrible Thing. Actually, it is Lovers. That's fine. Lovers something and the Big Terrible Thing. Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. This thing right here. So that's another book I've started. And then I started, I want to say, I don't know how long ago, but a while ago, I started Heir to the Empire, which was ironic a little bit. I started that years ago. And then I also started there's a little Godzilla book I have. I think if I can find it actually. And then that should be fine. Let me see. Godzilla. Heir to the Empire, and then At World's End. This small little dinky thing, not dinky thing, but look at it. Look at that. Look at that. I don't know. That started, and then at some point I finished a few of the other stories like I mentioned. Damn it. That's okay. I mentioned of Justice League Gods and Monsters, which I finished and I was going to review. And I think I've kind of been up and down about, not up and down about doing more comic reviews, but I just have forgotten a little over time. So there was that I finished a while ago. I think I started. Hold on. Actually, no. I always keep things written down in this book. This is the book I keep referring to, ladies and gentlemen, and hopefully you like the scenery here. But this is the book I keep referring to as with the whole. See, look. Stream content and stream schedules, and then video content and schedules. Not schedules per se, but I say schedules as in like this will be next, this will be next, this will be next, and I check off everything that's done. So this was the first sheet. This is the first sheet because look. All this, a majority of this is done. See, this is all stuff we all did. Like all these episodes finished, obviously. And then the other side is other content that I'm like, okay, some of this is check marked, some of it's not yet, some of it's kind of getting there, some of it's in the process, and so forth, and et cetera, et cetera. And then these are sheets that are also ripped from other pages when I was trying to mark down, like make prioritized content. Again, same thing. And then this sheet as well. But I write down a lot of that stuff. But if I can find, I have literally written down all the books that I'm reading. So I had started and read, no, actually, this is the stuff I need to finish. I started reading is I have The Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. I started The Death of X. I started Civil War II. I started Earth 2, World's Finest, I think these are the ones I want to start reading is Civil War II, Death of X, Earth 2 World's Finest, because I don't think I read those yet, but I want to read them. I have Kingdom Keepers. I've gotten years ago that I wanted to get into Kingdom Keepers because I heard about them, and then I got the first 2 books and I never read them, so I need to read those. I have this book that I really recommend for anyone that wants to get into filmmaking or screenwriting or anything in that industry. Pick up Save the Cat. I'm still in the midst of reading that, but I haven't read that in a while. But seriously, if you want structure and all that sort of not formulaic things, but if you want it like bones to bones, bare bones, how to do your structure and how to like do character development, all these other things, Save the Cat will help. And I'm not finished with it, but like people recommend it, and I'd recommend it too. I'd recommend reading this book. I'd recommend reading The Little Guy. Look out for the little guy. I'd read, like, it's fun. It's funny. It's a little it's like basically, I don't know. It's like an in-book universe, in-show universe sort of thing. It's kind of great. What else do I have? So I'd recommend those. We did Imperial Command, which that's done. Godzilla at World's End, Star Wars: Heir to the Empire, and a while back I picked up, and I already did I've done a vlog on it months ago, that I picked up the Omega Rangers volume, Power Ranger comic issue, and I haven't read that yet. So it's irony that I have like one of my like OC characters is an Omega Ranger, and I've created the story around him, yet I don't know, I haven't read anything about the Omega Rangers. This is funny, even though I kind of know a little basics about what's happened, but I want to read the stories actually, and also get into Ranger Academy as well. But that are those stories and those books I need to read, and I think that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. But thank you guys thank you for at least the 3 of you that tuned in today, and I appreciate the 3 of you that tuned in today: Tom, Jamari, and Ruben. I appreciate it. That's fine. Again, wasn't expecting a whole crowd today or this big, like, everyone's coming in, checking it out, viewing, and giving all the likes. This was just something fun. This was just something fun I wanted to really do. And this may not have been really the best idea, but you know what? Got this out of the way and said, hey, I had fun with this. I thought this would be interesting. I thought this would have been kind of cool. This would have been neat. Maybe if you, again, want something easy to listen to while you're doing whatever stuff, if you want to be like, hey, I can listen to this while I'm doing A, B, and C, then sure. I mean, then again, live streams kind of have that feel where you can just listen while you're doing shit. So, but let me know what you guys think of this book. And if you guys actually do pick up this book, let me know. Like, again, this is not sponsored, but let me know if you guys do pick this up at some point. I think this would be funny. I think this is kind of funny. I'll continue to read this, but I'm not going to read this during live streams anymore. I don't think I will, unless you really want to. I don't see it happening, if I'm being honest. But that's why I'm like, I don't see it really happening unless like tons and tons of people are demanding for it. So this will be on my own time, and hopefully the next time we do streams, it'll be Spider-Man. And I don't know when, but I'm hoping maybe Monday. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. It's like right now streams are limbo, and that's with other stuff that's happened, and plus maybe me working next week or maybe starting work soon. We shall see. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, if you like this video, please smash the like button. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I do awesome videos every day, if not every week. Make sure you ring that bell to new videos every week. Share the video with your friends, all the good stuff and more. Leave some suggestions in the comments. You name it, I'll look into it as best as possible. You can go check out my Imperial Command review. It's all on my channel. Maybe I'll leave a link in the description, but you can go check out my channel and find it. You can also check out that I did a history I guess, dive into the history of Playhouse Disney because Brandon requested it. And plus I was like, you know what? Why not? Fuck it. I'm 22 and I'm talking about kid shows. Who cares? I've seen other adults talk about them, so why not? So, and plus, I mean, it was all kind of our childhood in a way. So you guys can go check out those videos. There's going to be more reviews, more top 10s. I know I keep saying that, but I am going to strive for, even with or without constant streams happening, I will be doing more videos. So there will be more reviews. There will be more top 10s. And there will be maybe some other stuff in between. There will be shorts. I'm going to have one scheduled for you guys at 10 a.m. If you're checking this out now, to check this out. 10 a.m. There'll be a short for you guys, and that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time.